Sean Huckster here. Today we're going to start going down the Mighty Max rabbit hole. Welcome to the Mighty Max rabbit hole. So, on November 26th, I had 0 Mighty Max sets. Now I have all Doom Zones complete except for the Ratus, and 2 are on their way to me now, missing only a Mighty Max and a villain. So, all the Doom Zones. I have the first 8 of the horror heads. I have the next 2 of the 3 next wave of horror heads. I have 1 monster head. I have the first 8 shrunken heads and all the maxes. Everything is complete with minor exceptions. But what started me on all of this was browsing the Big Bad Toy Store in November. I saw 2 interesting sets that came to my view, and I had no idea they even existed. And these looked to me like Mighty Max sets. And I said, wait a second. This looks like a large alligator lizard, Mighty Max, and this looks like a large reindeer or deer Mighty Max set. And looking around, I found a company called PeariA, which I guess that's pronounced correctly, seems to be a Thai company, a company based in Thailand. And there's a person who uses the name Mighty Alex, who has made it his job and his obsession to recreate and make new Mighty Max sets. So hats off to him, literally. And that's when I found these sets, which are the Mighty Hat set plus the variant, which is a darker black shade of the same. A Mighty Max, well, it is in fact, this is Rover Robin, I believe, hunts the Rudolph, and the variation of that set. So I bought those. I bought 2 from China on eBay. So, but they were really expensive, more than double what I would pay in the US for the Big Bad Toy Store versions. But I had not yet seen a way to buy them, and they were on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. So I bought these. They got shipped to me, and what I found interesting was that these, which I think, so this was the one I bought from China, and it is written entirely in it's an Asian language. I don't know. I'm assuming it's Chinese, but I don't know, and I can't translate it. But this one, and I believe the variant, the variant of the Rudolph, came to me with the Chinese writing on them. Now, the ones I got from the Big Bad Toy Store are more or less identical, but they have the English translations for everything on the back here, and this standard grade sticker. So I've got these first. These came months ago, and then I started collecting the Mighty Max sets, and now I have way too many Mighty Max sets. But today I'm going to do some unboxing, or unopening, I guess, because they're not really in boxes, are they? So I am going to start with the red Mighty Hat set. I'm going to be very careful, so I do not want to ruin the packaging in any way, but I am going to open these, and I can only do this in one take, because believe it or not, I can't do this a second time. Now, these, interestingly, come with these little circular tape bits here. So I'm going to try to see if I can't, that's already tearing the plastic. So I'm going to go in at the plastic level. It's already tearing the package. So I'm hoping, and I don't know because this is brand new to me. I've never opened one of these before, and I've been very excited to open these. It's all right, looks like, I'm not sure the tape's going to come off. So I may have to actually kind of tear the packaging, which is, I guess, what you have to do anyway. Let's cut through the tape. I'm trying to be very careful here to preserve the package as much as I can. And I will open it only from the bottom, maybe. That might help preserve the package a little bit. So let's go under here. Seems to be coming away fairly well. It looks like there's 2 layers of plastic, maybe. Let me go all the way up and see what I find. If that's true, then I should be able to open this up just by cutting the tape. Yeah, look at that. So I didn't have to rip that package. Oh well. Live and learn. So here we go. I'm going to pull this out. Now, obviously, you can tell by scale that this is more along the lines of the shrunken heads. They're very tiny. Not a lot of interaction, not a lot of moving parts. So here we go. And here we have instructions on how to fit Mighty Max in and close it. Now, I think this is Mighty Max, clearly. And I don't know the history. I really don't know much. I did join some Facebook groups. I learned a few things. But in general, what I learned was that they had the Mighty Max license in Thailand, I believe, but they put it out as Mighty Hat, but that's clearly, you know, pretty much that's Mighty Max. And there's his hat with the M on it. The story behind this one, which is on the back of the packaging, is that the hat kind of turns on Max and forces him through a portal of no return, which I guess is their way of introducing Mighty Max, crossing the Mighty Hat, which is the hat, and then having the story transfer to Rover Robin, who I believe probably is going to end up searching for Mighty Max or going through the same portals, and that way copyright is not a problem, I assume. So this is the hat, and it closes, so you have Mighty Max's hat. Now with teeth, you'll notice. So the hat is really turned on Max, and you open it up, Max fits in right here, and you can close it up. And when you close it up, the dagger forms that last tooth that you see in the hole there. So as all Mighty Max sets generally, part of the interior becomes part of the exterior, and in this way they do it rather cleverly by making it his dagger. And that's it. So what we have is an iguana. I mean, in the TV series, Max owns an iguana. So that could be the one. In the series, I'm not sure if it's green, but anyway, there's a book or a couple of books there. And I think that's just some like socks lying on the floor. So this is his bedroom probably, and there's like a wooden floor there. But you'll notice a portal is opened up, and parts of things are coming out through the portal. And I believe those parts of things, I bet you if I went back, I'd find some relationship to the show or something. And what's happening is he's being sucked into that portal, never to be seen again, according to the story, until Rover Robin probably starts searching for him. I am not going to open up the variant because it's the same, except it's got a translucent black plastic for the hat. Max is the same, all the painting is the same. So I'm going to leave that preserved. And I'm going to go now for the Hunt's Rudolph set. Knowing what I know now, I think I can probably lift this up without having to destroy the packaging, just by carefully cutting around the top layer of plastic, which will cut through the tape. I don't mind cutting through the tape. And releasing Max from this. Let me just cut that last bit of tape so I can have a free rein here. Max comes, the top comes off, and here we have this. Obviously, I think this is Rover Robin. Clearly, that's supposed to be Robin. And Rover Robin has taken over for Max. He's got the hat. Well, he's got a hat. And I think he also, according to this, has a device that he's going to use to find portals, I guess. So here we have the Rudolph interior. Closing it, it's Rudolph with a hat, with an eye formed by a part of the interior, which is pretty much standard for Mighty Max. Piece of the interior. Come on, get out there. Kind of difficult. The hinges are tight, by the way. So this little blood-covered snow peak here becomes one eye. And I am imagining that when Robin is in here, I don't know quite how he fits yet, but I would imagine that forms, yeah, there you go. So his lamp forms the second eye, and it's yellow. So when you open him up, you obviously got Rudolph with the red nose here, and he's got scars and slashes across his fur, antlers at the ready, ears out. Inside, you have Rover Robin with a lamp, and then you have Rudolph. Now, the original shrunken heads often, in fact, I think almost always had the villain molded into the top of the top of the cap part of the head, and then, of course, a play interior down here. Almost always a little slot for Max to fit in. In this case, Robin fits in right here, and basically that forms a perfect shrunken head. Just to compare, I'll pull over a shrunken head, and this is insectoid. So the scale, yeah, he will not fit when he's closed, by the way. So you have to fit him in so that the lantern fits right here, and then you close it, and that fits into the eye. Now you can see these are basically the same. If not for the antlers, I think insectoid might even be a small bit taller, but not as wide. So these are definitely intended to be shrunken heads, and the craftsmanship and job they did on this is absolutely beautiful. Anybody who's a Mighty Max fan should jump on and get these immediately. I'm not sure your best route to do so, but definitely do it if you can. Those aside, I am now going to go for the second set, which just arrived a couple of days ago. Very happy that I got them. These came from Big Bad Toy Store during a pre-order as well. So I'm going to start with this one. This is, I'm sorry that I can't pronounce it necessarily, but it's Kui Guan, I believe. And this tells of an old ancient story of, it says here, the Mushan Taoist priest, Huang Yang, known as Uncle Yang, traveled among the people during the corrupt Qing Dynasty, constantly quelling disasters. Through his efforts, he upheld the values and righteousness and human conscience. So he is the hero of this set. And the villainous piece is this kind of gruesome head. And we shall see what that looks like as I open it. Now, this one, unfortunately, does not have the tape. I am going to have to rip the cardboard on this. But this one comes with the figure, painted, and then a clear amber version of the same figure, which is a bonus, I assume. So I am going to cut this open. I will put scans of these on my website later or post them on Facebook or something. But I am going to tear this package now, so here we go. Much as I hate destroying packaging, I think this might come up fairly easily. I am going to try to remove as little of it as possible just so I can slip the figure out. But I don't see that happening because it's hourglass shaped. So we're going to have to go in and rip the card. And this is fine. I'll just do it. I have to free these guys somehow. And I'm going to try to do it as cleanly as possible. Even I'm not going to pull and rip because I know what that looks like. So if I do half of this here and then half over here, I should be able to lift this up. Let me see if I can't get in there and cut some of that paper away, so I don't rip the card as much. Get over here, get underneath the card, and now I can pull him out. Now the card, of course, he's got some damage, and that's just the way it's going to be. So he's also a double shell. The figure of Uncle Yang is here, and he's beautifully painted and detailed. Here's my cat. Under here, you have instructions of how to fit him in. And then, of course, you have the amber. I'm not going to open him right now. He's basically identical to the painted figure. So let's look at the set. Now, this is a little bit more elaborate than the shrunken heads, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's your shrunken head size. You know, it's the size of a shrunken head, same as insectoid. And the thing is, the figure, which is normally molded to the back of the head, comes out. And there you have this kind of sinister, almost zombie-like figure with green claws, but he's got beautifully articulated, intricately painted pauldrons and chest piece. And he's molded in kind of a taupe or beige plastic. And he has the hat, which is the hat of the figure you're looking at. And I imagine the goal is that he is this figure here. He's got the tooth, the general ugly appearance, sort of. But the interesting thing is when you turn him around, he's really gruesome. He's like really ugly, something you see in a horror movie. And this becomes the eye when you close it. And this being the head, you've got another creature here which stays on the back, and then you've got this poor unfortunate soul who is the victim, I guess, of this evil personality. And so when you put him in place and close the head, that forms. Let me just get him in there. That forms the eye. This eye here is the eye that the villain completes from the inside to the out. And then Uncle Yang is supposed to fit. People have said, well, I don't know how to fit him in here, but you see these two little pegs? These two pegs are intended to fit Uncle Yang under his armpit, like so, and his sword coming down into the yin-yang symbol, and with the villain in place. Now, I haven't closed this yet, so I'm going to try. It should close. It's a little tough to close. I'm not going to risk it because I don't want to break anything. But I imagine that is the correct way to do it. But, well, I'm not quite 100% sure. So now I've got him in place a bit better. Let me see if it closes. Also, the hinge is slightly off, so this doesn't close anyway. But anyway, that's the figure. I'm not going to try to force it closed. In fact, I'll probably display this open anyway. And that's the third of the 4 available sets. And I'm going to do the last one now. Like I said, I'm not going to tear open the variants, but I'll show them to you through the packaging anyway. This is the Crushes the Gingerbread Man. Once again, you've got your Rover Robin figure here, and he's got some sort of almost like a chainsaw, but it's got this like icing coming out of it, or maybe that icing is attached to the chainsaw when he slices through the villainous Gingerbread Man. And of course, the story on the back. I will scan this back later and post it. It's clearly a story of the Gingerbread Man and Robin taking him on. All right, we're going to open this. Now, this is interesting because the hinge opens up in two different directions. And that sort of mimics a couple of interesting sets that Mighty Max has done in the past. But it's a fairly interesting concept. You don't see it very often. And I am now going to do my best to slice this open without doing too much damage so that I can remove the set from the packaging without totally destroying it. So take the X-Acto, go around the edge. And I need to come up all the way up to here, I think. I'm trying not to do that, but oh well. I mean, when it comes down to it, you're not going to be able to save the packaging much anyway. If you want to open it, you're going to have to, if you want this omelet, you're going to have to break some eggs. All right. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, there we go. This also comes with an extra figure, but it is not a mimicked figure or anything. This is the gingerbread villain, which I am going to take out because it's going to be part of the set. So I'm going to slice up here and peel that up just enough to remove Mr. Gingerbread Man. And I'm trying to keep the packaging as intact as possible. You know, there's no way to do that for real. And here again, you've got instructions on where to place Max and how to open and close it. Put that back in there. And here we have it. The set is a gingerbread factory. You've got a tiled floor here. You got dough everywhere. There are remnants of gingerbread villains here. You've got some here. You see the 3 gingerbread man on the wall here. But you also have a couple here covered in icing, which I'm sure is what Robin uses the chainsaw and slices through, and icing covers these people. Like here's one holding what they call a candy cane sickle or scythe, and he seems to have a claw in one hand, a mechanical claw. You see the little hinge there. So this is a really evil gingerbread villain. You've got your Rover Robin with chainsaw, and the chainsaw is covered with dough. And I imagine that's after slicing through. That's what's left over. And then you have the gingerbread villain, who's very nicely crafted. Definitely in a march of anger. So let's put him down. And the set. So we're going to close the set for you now to see what the thing looks like together. Let's look at the instructions because they do give an order here. And the order is probably very important. So the order is close the top first. That's number 1. And then close number 2, which is the side. So let's try that. We will close the top. And you'll see that it snaps into place here. Now, you don't see the mouth through this piece. This is all dough-covered evil. Slide the second one over, and it encompasses the mouth. Now, I don't see that clicking in place very easily, actually. So let me try to do it another way. Maybe that's the way you open it. So you'll close this, and there you go, yeah. So the instructions is for actually opening it. You open the first one, top one first, and then you open the second one. To reverse it, you close this one first. And that covers the mouth so perfectly. And then this comes down over, and you have your complete villain. 2 hinges. And again, it is about the size, a little bit larger than a shrunken head. Okay, let's put Robin in place. Robin fits in, as do all Maxes, into a foothold here. It's not jamming into place much, but it is pretty well in place there. And I assume you can place the villain somewhere in here to be the evil villain coming after Max. I do not think that you could fit Max or Robin in here with the Gingerbread Man. I'm not entirely sure. I wonder how that fits. I bet you that goes something like so. And let's see. That closes. No, that's not going to do it. Yeah, I have heard people are having trouble. There we go. Closing the sets. There we go. So in this case, Robin goes in upside down. And that's like some of the other horror heads. We have Maxes coming out of horror head or shrunken heads with upside down and all sorts of various poses. So you just place him upside down like so with his chainsaw to the right. Close the first panel, close the second panel, and that's the fourth. And I have to say, I am very happy with these. I don't quite know what to do with the villain. Maybe he can fit in there, but I really kind of don't think so. So let's go over the variants quickly. This is the same as the Mighty Hat, but it is in a black translucent plastic. You can see through the black. Then you've got Rudolph, and Rudolph is the same, except he has kind of a whitish interior. And I'm not entirely sure if it glows in the dark. I read somewhere that it glows in the dark, but I haven't tried that. But other than that, the set's exactly the same and really quite beautiful. I mean, the sculpting and these is rather genius. And looking at Kui Guan, this version is, they call it the bloody version, and it's a translucent, transparent red version of the same villain. But the villain is also molded, I think, in a clear resin, because the pauldrons are painted, but you can kind of see through the pauldrons. Like it's a cloudy, clear resin. And of course, the villain's painted a little different here. Uncle Yang is painted entirely in gold in this one, and then you get a blue, clear variant. And again, I'm not going to open this, but that's the variation of Kui Guan. And then you have the slime version of the Gingerbread Man. And Robin is the same, except now all of the dough is green. And the top half of the shell is translucent green, so you can see through it. The details, of course, are exactly the same. They're molded the same. They're painted more or less the same. And this one does exactly the same. Closes here first, then closes here. Robin would fit in slightly upside down. And you've got your clear green version of the Gingerbread Man villain here. So that is the opening of the first 4 of the PeariA Mighty. I'm not going to call it Mighty Max. I'm going to call it the Mighty toy sets. And mighty they are, though they're small. If you're a fan of Mighty Max, I don't know how you can't try to get out and find these. I'm delighted, and now I've got on pre-order the 2 large sets that are coming. I know I probably won't get those for several months, or maybe many, but I'm patient. I have pre-ordered many things and have waited. My next videos are going to be going through the various Mighty Max sets that I've purchased since November 26th. That is, to the day, 2 months. And in that 2 months, I have gathered, I don't even want to count, counting several that are on their way to me, like 2 or 3, all but 1 Doom Zone, all but 2 of the first 3 waves of the horror heads, the 4 rare ones. I'm not going to even try because they're expensive. I've got the first 8 shrunken heads, and I'm probably not going to go for the others because, again, very expensive, very rare. And Ratus, who, yeah, I've seen some crazy prices on Ratus, but he's the only one left now that I have to collect. And I'm not going to be collecting the other sets, the large play sets or the figures, because I'm quite happy with the internal worlds that Mighty Max holds when you open up one of the shells. So I hope you stuck with me, and if not, sorry to see you go. I am going to be doing more videos starting sometime this week, starting with the first wave of Doom Zones. So for now, Sean Huckster out. Welcome down the rabbit hole. Bye.